10 marker, the Crow review, guys. Get right to it. Action. What's going on, guys? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day. You know what to do, guys. Like, share, subscribe to us on our Alamo City Movie Talk page. And thank you for making us a part of your day. Let's get right to it, ladies and gentlemen. What are we talking about today, Angela?
So this one, we were fans of the original.
We still are.
And so we are reviewing the remake, the reboot, if you will, of The Crow.
So The Crow, before we get into this review, guys, I do want to really just bring into the light the fact that this movie has been such a catastrophe before even making the film. Jason Momoa was supposed to be casted in here. So the script was scrapped. Then the script came back. They rewrote it. So much catastrophe, even before the movie even started filming and everything. And then the trailer got released. And I have to say, from the trailer and everything, I was not a huge fan of the trailer. I gotta admit, I have to tell you, because it's like point of the conversation. And whether you really love this and everything, I do want to say this because never do I ever expect a movie to be bad. I don't go into a movie theater and be like, oh, I hope this movie's terrible and all this stuff. No. But I want to say that because I feel like that people attack other people just because that they don't like a certain movie and all this stuff. But I gotta admit, though, I didn't like the trailer. I'm a fan of Bill Skarsgård. I mean, he's done iconic It so good. I really enjoyed him in that character, in that horrific character. And so and to me though, Bill was not the problem. I'll say that. But I gotta admit though, so besides all that, right? I really just wanted to mention that because I feel like that I always want to be surprised. The trailer, there's so many movies where that I was like, the trailer's not good, or even the trailer is good and the movie is better than the trailer itself, and that's great too at the same time. Or maybe there's certain parts of the trailer that are not in the movie and you're like, what the hell? So I'll admit though, I gotta admit that this movie, I wanted to be surprised, but was I? No, I wasn't. I was not surprised. But anyway, let's get right to it. The Crow stars the soulmates Eric and Shelley are brutally murdered, given a chance to save the love of his life. Eric must sacrifice himself and traverse the worlds of the living and the dead, seeking revenge. Of course, this is based on the original remake of The Crow that came out in 1994. We were 2 years old when The Crow came out. Yeah, Brandon Lee is
he was great,
iconic, fantastic, just beautiful work of art. And he really, I think it was Miramax that made the film.
Rest in peace.
Yes, and he made that character to a whole new level and everything. No, a whole new level I don't think anyone was ready for. Visionary, music was just spot on. And so we go into this movie, and one of the things that we started off with, Mike, there's going to be a rant, right? And it sucks because I was just like, what the hell? The music is terrible. I mean, the music is horrific. The music is more horrific than the movie. The music is just garbage, for one. When you go into The Crow, again, we're comparing it to The Crow because The Crow, the iconic comic book, the dark goth. This isn't goth. This isn't dark. The only thing dark is maybe his little, little bit of, his jacket, the eyeshadow, and even when the eyeshadow, the creativeness. Okay, so when you go into a movie and everything, the creative style behind it, Joker, the creative style of just iconic movies to create this costume. Maybe it's even like Batman. You go back to like all these different people, all these different characters. Again, they're fictional, right? But all these different characters to where like you had to be creative on how they get their costumes to a certain degree and how they become this character, how they become this superhero, if you will, or anti-hero or whatever.
Anti-hero.
Yeah, it was garbage. I mean, it just felt like everything was out of place. This movie's a fucking mess, and I'm pissed off because I really wanted to be surprised. This movie is terrible. I really wanted to enjoy it. I mean, it's just, I felt more depressing out of the movie than I got in. Like, the music was so depressing and it didn't really get you pumped like the original Crow did. The original Crow, man, it's crazy, it's witty, it's iconically just insane, and that's what I wanted. That's what I love.
And Bill has the capability of.
Oh yeah, he does. I mean, we saw him in It. We saw him in so many other, like, it's like.
He also did John Wick 4. I think.
Oh, so he plays a great villain in there. he's more horrific in that movie than he is in this one. And that's not on him. That's more on the script. That's more,
Bill.
yeah. And so like, and we go back to, let's go back to the love, what do you call it? The love story between Eric and Shelley, which is Bill, and FKA. And so between the two of them, I believe their story. Their story wasn't a problem with me. I thought it was good. It made sense.
I didn't actually like
it was okay.
It was okay.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was good, their chemistry, but the way they found each other was just, it was definitely unoriginal. It was definitely just like, what the hell? And it didn't make sense to me. Also, the opera scene. Oh my God. Okay, see, the opera scene. We're not going to mention it, but I will say, like, how in the hell could you not hear the gunshots in the opera scene? I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree. Certain things like,
well, like, it's like the perils. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna bring it down to earth here. Okay, guys, here we go. So the problem is that whenever you take the reality out of like the movie, like you can't hear gunshots, you can't hear certain things. Like it's just the reality behind it. Yes, we know it's like some undead thing, and yes, we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is the fact that you take like if someone gets shot in the middle of an opera and no one fucking reacts.
Oh, there's a
that's
lot of
bullshit.
There's a lot of
like it's bullshit. It's like, dude, like
I think that was
how do you?
Thing. That was the first thing I noticed was like you're in an opera.
It's yes, so quiet.
They're singing on stage. They're singing loudly.
But there's quiet moments.
But you could tell wholeheartedly when there's gunshots. 100 feet behind you. Like it's
so quiet.
It's like I mean, so the whole scene, like unless
the acoustics are just spot on 100,000. I'll call us crazy, but unless the acoustics are just spot on, beautiful, and it's soundproof, maybe that's why. I don't know. But anyways, it did make sense to me, especially all the violence in there, and
even the fighting scenes weren't done as well as I had hoped.
They're pixelated. There's a lot of violent scenes that are just so pixelated, and I just did not like them. Like I wish. The only thing I really did like, which I thought was really cool, was Bill's regeneration whenever he regenerated from healing.
Yeah, those were cool.
That was pretty cool.
I will say again, I really like Bill. It was nothing to do against him. He's a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
It was very much with the character and the story. I didn't personally love it. I think he was trying too hard to be something. And I don't know exactly what it was. Not emo, not goth. I didn't like the wardrobe. Unfortunately, I'm not into the grunge hobo look. I'm sorry. I hated his haircut. I hated his mullet. Very peso plume.
And that's not a bad thing. It doesn't work for this genre. It just doesn't, and it just like it's really I'm just lost. Like, what the hell? Why would you think this is great? Why would you think this is good? But again, though, it's nothing on Bill. It's more on the costume. Just the costumes were just like, okay, his costume, and I talked about it in my trailer reaction. We talked about it whenever we saw the first image of it. I was like, what the hell is this? This isn't even good at all by any means. If you're comparing it to The Crow and everything, and you could throw back at me, be like, well, Ryan, this is something different. It's something. Yes, I get that. But
did it work?
Did it work? No, it didn't work. It was garbage. And again, though, if you do like this movie, let me know in the comments down below. Convince us otherwise. If you did enjoy this movie, by all means, I'm not trying to crush on you. I'm not trying to dog on you. If you love this movie, love it by all means. I'll say that. Love it. Enjoy it. Be it for Halloween. But I can tell you one thing. I would not be this character for Halloween. But nothing on Bill. I keep saying that. Bill did nothing wrong in this case. But there's still that certain moments in here. And it took forever to set the mood. Like, it just, I feel like the music was so out of place. I think that was the main focus for me because of the original 94 that came out. The music was so on point. So it's kind of like we had to have this punk rock style music.
It was like
maybe
more like grunge.
Well, no. Like the back then, it was hardcore. It was more better. I mean, obviously it's more better, but I feel like that with this one, they were going to do more punk, maybe, different. But no, we didn't get that one bit in this movie. We got more of the just like,
I wouldn't even know how to describe it.
Just,
it didn't fit well. Like I said, the costumes didn't fit. The music didn't fit. The settings, the makeup, and it just wasn't working for us. Yeah.
There's a lot of dull moments in here where you're just like, why was this necessary? This movie runtime comes down to an hour and 51 minutes. I easily could have taken out 30 minutes of this movie. I'll say that.
I would have redid 30 minutes. Like, I would have redone a lot of shots. Again, nothing on the cast. They all did great. I wish the story went a little bit in a different direction. I wish, a lot of things were different with like costuming and design and music and everything. Like it's just, I was a little disappointed. Did I hate the movie? No, by no means. But I really had better hopes for it.
I didn't hate the movie. I just hated his costume. I'll say that. I hated the costume. And I hated the way okay, so whenever the original Crow came out, right? I mean, even any movie, when you talk about any movie, when you're like, you don't know what your powers are and everything. I hate it when movies like are trying to explain to you, dumb it down to you. Oh yeah, hey, by the way, this, he does this.
There's an explanation to the audience,
but it's too much though. Like it's when it's like small tidbits. Oh yeah, you could heal, you could do, like, it's like, dude, okay, oh my god, like we could figure it out. It's like they're dumbing it down for us. It's like, oh guy, hey buddy,
No, I don't think. I think it was just more like they were trying to rush it. Like instead of the audience figuring out with this character,
but
what's happening.
Don't dumb it down for us. That's what I'm saying. Like we will figure it out as we go with like every other superhero movie. Or if you read the comic book, you already know. So it's like one of those things to where, because this is a comic book, just like Hulk, just like Captain America, just like all, like they don't dumb it down. They creatively bring it to us and explain it. They don't explain it like, oh, this is your power, this is your power, this is different. It's like, what? Why are you doing that? Like, it makes no sense. Versus like maybe even saying, well, my powers are unparalleled. Like I can do whatever, I can imagine whatever I want. And it's like, even that's better than what they really were saying. It was just like, wow, what the hell? Like, I just felt like they were just dumbing it down for us. And I didn't like that per se. And I just didn't like how they had to explain every single detail. I was like, dude, just show us the movie and visually we will understand some of it. Just show us like this is the other realm and then this is Earth or whatever. And like, that's all you need to do and we'll figure it out. But it's almost like what's another great movie? Spawn, spot on, a comic book just like this one.
That was pretty cool.
Spawn, the 94, like that movie is so great, and they kind of explain the powers, but then they kind of maybe do little chunks here and there.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, but even though they kind of explain it, but they don't, because they were like, oh yeah, they kind of explained the basics of his powers, but then later on he figures out I can do whatever, and I love that. Right, that's great. Same thing with this one. You could have done it like that. Just give us the little bit basics, but they really didn't. They want to explain everything, and I was like, "Oh my god! Like, why? Why this has no significance?"
Again,
but yeah,
I do think, like I said, it was a little disappointing. A lot of elements just weren't lining up for this
yeah.
one. Sorry, guys.
And for me, it wasn't the dark, intense, psychological that I really wanted out of the character that we got in the original. Sure. And again, though, it could be like, oh, Ryan, they tried to do a different take and everything. Okay, fine. But this take didn't work. I'll say that.
Sorry.
Didn't work for us.
Sorry, not sorry.
I don't know if this is the new generation of Gen Z emo that's out there. And the second thing I do want to bring out, his costume before he became the Crow, horrible.
Well, just different change of clothes. Again, yeah. I'm not into like the hobo, chic, homeless. Like I don't. I'm not trendy by any means.
That might be trending, and I get that,
I did not like their costumes one bit. I didn't like.
Okay, see, if he was famous, I would understand it. That's fine.
Not even
but
then.
He
like
wasn't even.
Justin Bieber's famous. He dresses the same way. I just don't understand it.
But that's fine though, because he's famous, he's rich, whatever. But in this case, because he wasn't rich and he wasn't that character or a rock star by any means. I was just like, why? What? It don't make any sense. But anyways, I'll leave it at that, guys. Was this film that we deserve? Say hell no, it's not. Rating 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest. When you give this rating, I'm gonna give it a solid 2 out of 10. Sadly,
I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Just because, again, nothing against the cast and everything. Personally, it wasn't hitting it for me in a lot of elements. A lot of the story, the music, the costumes, some of the scenes, the choreography, the way it played out. I just wasn't hitting it for me, unfortunately. So unfortunately, it's gonna be a 3 for me.
Yeah, it wasn't good at all. I mean, in my perspective, in my point of view. Again, if you love this movie, love it. We want you to love it. And I'll put comments down below. Prove us wrong. I'll say that. But I wish I want to be surprised. I always go into a movie be like, okay, the trailers suck, posters suck, or whatever. Whatever, fine. but I want to be surprised. I want to have that movie cinema magic and just be miraculously like, oh my God, the trailers were horrible. Why did they make these trailers? This movie is so great. I want to be like that. And I'll leave that into your perspective, to your point of view. But I have to really see that because I feel like YouTubers, they just knock on people who don't love this movie or don't in general, right? Or just be like, wow, how could you love this movie? You're so stupid. And don't feel like that whatsoever. I don't feel that way towards anybody, towards anyone out there, guys. And I don't encourage that what kind of behavior at all whatsoever. But if you love a movie, love that movie and just be pure into the cinema world and just show us why you love it and everything. I'll say that. But if you are a fan and you really got this after watching this movie, this got you to be a fan, watch the original 1994 Crow, because you will be miraculously amazed at that one. I would say that. If you really enjoyed this one, and you haven't seen the original, you need to watch the original. I'll say that. All right, guys. But thank you so much for making this a part of your day. We do not recommend this movie, sadly, guys. Sadly. But yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for making this a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange.
And this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Have a good one. See you at the movies. Latest.